So I recently met with a seller, and whenever I'm meeting with sellers, they always want to know, what do I need to do to my home prior to putting it on the market? And while every situation is different and every seller's motivation is going to be different, I've got three things that you should at least consider to decide what you should do and whether you should do anything. Number one, your ability to do the work, or whether you have reliable contractors that you trust to do the work. Number two, what is the current market like? Is it a buyer or seller's market? Will you be able to sell your home quickly regardless of doing repairs to the home? And number three, how much time and energy do you have? Is it something where you're selling because you're starting a new job and you need to sell this house to buy another house? Or do you have the time? Maybe it's an investment property, and then you definitely have the time to remodel the property before selling. So let's look at the first one, your ability to do the work. Let's say hypothetically you've got a house that it's livable, it's comfortable, but it's kind of getting dated where it really needs a total facelift, total remodel. Well, then your candidates are going to be contractors who do flips, most likely, for selling the house. And you could still do the same work of flipping your own house, basically. The disadvantage you have is possibly the lack of skills and the lack of connection to subcontractors, and not knowing the value or the cost of things can make a big difference when doing remodeling work, because unless you're getting a whole lot of bids, which I recommend anyway, getting different bids, unless you've got contractors you really know the pricing and can rely on, then you'd be surprised what the difference in pricing can be, and you could do all the work and end up not leaving any money to profit from. So it wouldn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to do a kitchen remodel if you're not actually going to net more money on the sale of the house from the kitchen remodel. Now, a contractor buying the house, of course, their downside is they've got to pay closings twice. And so that additional closing cost has to be factored into the repairs. So as a homeowner, you don't have that on your plate. So that's one advantage. The next thing to consider is the current market. Now, if it is a strong seller's market, like we're still in a strong seller's market now, then you know pricing the house correctly will get it sold. And while there'll be a more narrow market for houses that are not fully ready to go or fully fixed up, as long as there's still a market for it, you know that you can go ahead and decide, okay, do I have the ability to do these repairs, and will this net me more money? And if so, do I want to spend the time to do that? And that's the third factor, is the time. Because when we go to do remodeling work, from what I found, it always takes longer than you think. The contractors, especially if you're using multiple contractors, there always tends to be issues that come up because people have other work to do, people have other lives, and when you're trying to coordinate multiple people in a house, the timing can be off. So where you think, okay, I could get this done in a month, plan on 2 months. And do you have the time to do that? What is your situation when selling the house? So those are three things to consider when you're getting ready to list your house and trying to decide how much time and energy and money to put into it. Are your ability to do the work or have reliable contractors to do the work, what the current market is like, and how much time do you have to make this transition to your next home.